I'm Gunther with Peak Performers. I'm joined today by Myles Wallace. We're here to talk about making accommodations for associates in the workplace.
And I'm really excited to talk about this because this is something that employers ask us all the time. And oftentimes they're really quite afraid of the whole engagement process and being able to make accommodations. Then they expect that it's going to be some kind of crazy thing that they have to do. We're here today to take away some of that fear and make it seem much more of a normal process.
I think for us, after 20 years of being in business and putting people with disabilities to work, we found that only 11% of our associates require an accommodation.
And keep in mind that 85% of our current workforce has a disability of some kind, and we put about 1,400 people to work last year.
What we found is that a lot of times companies like us that have really strong D&I platforms from the hiring process all the way through encourage those individuals to kind of self-advocate, which makes it a lot easier for the employer to make those kind of simple accommodations that they need to make for someone in the workplace.
You may be hearing about their disability for the very first time, but they've been living with this like their entire life and spend a lot of time thinking about it. So a lot of the disability accommodation process is about listening to them and hearing what they need to be successful, because a lot of times they're going to bring solutions to you.
By the time the accommodation conversation starts, they've already been through your application process. You vetted them as the most qualified candidate, and now they're talking about something they need in order for them to be successful at their role. So it's really not that much to be afraid of.
Furthermore, we find that most accommodation requests are free or at very little cost to the business, to be honest. Like, our most common accommodation request is actually that of time off. And hey, if you're willing to give them time off to go to their cousin's wedding, why wouldn't you give them time off to be able to go to the doctor?
I think if you think about the last couple of years, we've given people quite a bit of time off that they needed for whether it's medical reasons or homeschooling, or just to come into the office one day because they're not used to commuting.
And sometimes accommodations might be more situational adaptations to the workspace. Say, for example, you have ADHD. A lot of times our accommodation request that we help them make is to seat them in some part of the office that's not quite as well trafficked so they can focus a little bit better on their work. And the other thing too is that sometimes accommodations will require physical adaptations. So things like a standing desk if you have back scoliosis, or a vertical mouse if you have carpal tunnel. But guess what? These are not expensive adaptations to the workplace.
No, and they absolutely make the workplace better. It's funny, the first time I saw a vertical mouse, I thought, man, that's actually kind of nice. I think I could use one of those.
Sometimes more stringent accommodations will be requested and required for somebody to be productive in the workplace. And the best thing that you can do is listen to them and really try to keep an open mind. But also there are some more local resources that are available to you. Your local workforce development board usually has some kind of program to help get you and the employee connected to resources. For example, I got my hearing aids for free through that program. Additionally, you can find some really good sources online, such as askjan.org, which will help give you more information about what a person with a particular kind of disability might need to be successful.
There's a strong correlation between investing in your staff, no matter what accommodations they need, and their productivity and their loyalty and their continuance to be an employee with you.
Thanks so much for joining us this week. This has been Myles and Gunther. We'll see you next time.